Now, Ben, you were talking earlier about how I think you just come back from your tour and you were able to plug in the recording and get moving with it straight away. You can tell us a little bit about that without mentioning too much technology.
It's the first time I've done the virtual soundcheck thing, actually. I've never really kind of, with coming from certainly away from kind of what these guys are doing into, I mean, with Saxon, we're still doing a couple of thousand Capcom clubs in Europe and things like that.
I know what technology is, Saxon.
No. Well, steam power is still a new invention.
Right.
Maybe the flames in the
Yeah.
world, but so it's still, we're still in clubs where, and the volume that they run at as well, considering all the band are on in ears, they're all on wedges. We've got 8 active guitar cabs, we've got 2 active 4x12, 8x10s. So the stage volume they run at is despicable. So virtual soundcheck for things like that has always been pointless for me, because the other thing with him as well is he wants to come out and hear a finished gig. So you will do your sound check and you'll hack the room to pieces and you'll do way more than you need to do and you'll spend the entire hour just making him happy, because when he comes out front, and he will, and he'll sing and he wants to hear the CD, and then as soon as he's disappeared we'll do another line check with the crew and we'll flatten everything and we'll get it back to actually what we need to do.
Let's hope you're not watching this.
So I've never done that, but the Veronica's thing, we have quite a controlled session band.
Yeah.
The drummer behind perspex, everything, much more controlled. And as well, we had extremely quiet singers, i.e. headphones on and every instrument on stage is louder than their vocals. So what it enabled me to do was to be able to listen to the vocal and get rid of absolutely everything that I didn't need, enable me to get the most efficiency out of my vocal and still have a band mix, because the brief I got from their management was that everything they've done before was either no band and all vocal or all band and no vocal, and it goes from, it's quite a dynamic show from the big kind of rock thing to the kind of nightclub thing, similar to what you were saying. My kind of idea of mixing a gig is that we're the kind of difference between the 4-star review, the band were great, and the 5-star review of, oh my god, what just happened. And you can use sound, bottom end and certain frequencies and things to kind of involve people in a show. And like we were talking about earlier, like last summer when I was out with been with a band called Havana for a lot of years, and we're still very new in Europe. So we'll go out and do festivals where we're in the afternoon, and I'll purposely mix them at 96, 97 dB because I don't want to force a new band down people's throat. I don't want the band to be doing this. I want to be able to have a conversation with who I'm stood and think, actually, these guys are alright, and make the choice to listen to it, and it makes the band much more approachable. But then when you take it into a headline show and you're in a club and everybody's there to see that band, you need to, for me, you have to do your homework, you have to study your band and find out where the heartbeat is, where the power comes from, where you find the most, find the centre of it musically and listen to how the band put it together in the studio and kind of try and get on the same mindset as those, and then you put it together in the right way, and then, like I say, involve people, and you can use bottom end, and you can, and just, I like to mix, exactly as you said, really loud, really punchy, but I still want to be able to hear a pin drop in the mix, and I want it to be really smooth, and watching those kind of mid-range frequencies, especially when I'm doing people like Saxon and Skid Row, and you've got super high-pitched, long hair vocal, and that's very easy, that kind of, so, but you've got to keep the vocal there, because, as you were saying earlier, with live music so oversaturated now, and because of technological advance and everything, people have a certain way. Kids don't want to go to a sweaty rock club now and see their favourite band in a hall. They want to go see their favourite band in an arena with insane production and stunning lights and stunning sound. And if it doesn't sound like that, the band are crap, and then we get the sack. There is no middle ground, you know what I mean? So it has to be that, to that nth degree of perfection,
On that point, something, the question sort of arose to me, I want to put it to you guys. That you mentioned about 4-star, 5-star review about people's expectations, and maybe this is sort of a foolish notion, but do you think social media and the rise of social media and people tweeting at gigs and going, "Oh, this sounds terrible," and able to react to it, does this have any bearing on? Does this put you under any pressure?
YouTube and smartphones, the first thing anybody does. Like you say, it used to be you'd wait for the band's girlfriends or wife. YouTube now, the first thing the band do is if they've got a new front of house engineer and you're in that interim period of you've got to wait for the, normally you wait for the right people to say the right things before the band kind of settle down and trust what you're doing. They're straight on YouTube instantly.
Dave, what?
I try to ignore any comments, Twitter, anything like that.
But are you aware of it during the show? I mean,
no, I block it completely. I find that I'm quite sensitive when I'm actually working to any comments or anything, so I'll block the whole world out and just focus on what I'm doing.
That's about not to be.
Well, I'm just, what you're doing is technical and artistic at the same time. So I think you're quite mentally open to suggestions and just people's feelings and stuff. So I try to just keep that all away from me until after the show.